Well, we survived 2022 without getting nuked, so I suppose that's worth celebrating. This year was a fucking solid year for horror, probably more so than any other genre. Go fuck yourself, Marvel! That being said, not everything was a fucking gem. So I'm gonna break down my highs and my lows. And let it be fucking known that these are my personal opinions, and while from a critical standpoint these rankings would certainly differ, this list is based strictly off of my personal preferences and enjoyment of each film. So if you have some shit to talk, feel free to go shoot your load up your mother's saggy shit-caked ass. And away we go. So for my least favorite, meaning out of the ones I didn't like, this is the one I didn't like the least.
Even I'm confused at this point.
Orphan, First Kill. Now it isn't so much that this is a bad film, it just has its predecessor to contend with. This being a prequel, it is certainly an ass-backward approach to make the main antagonist from the first film a sympathetic lead in this flick, knowing that the storyline will eventually do a 180. The performances are fine and the story is fine, it's just a weird fucking movie and I have no idea who the fuck I was supposed to root for. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is a stupid horror movie filled with stupid horror movie people doing stupid horror movie people things. Honestly, if not for the killer score and that legendary ending, this film would definitely take the top spot on my worst list. Can we just leave this franchise alone? Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Look, this movie was marketed as the MCU's first horror film. So here it is on this list. Listen here, all you vagina fungi, go watch Cannibal Holocaust, then come back here and tell me how Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Mundane Marvel Muff Munching is a fucking horror movie. I swear to God, I had so many people come and tell me that they thought that this was gonna be my personal favorite of all the Marvel movies because, you know, the horror of it all. Jokes on those asshats, because this plus Thor Love and Thunder put the proverbial nail in the fucking goddamn coffin for me and the MCU. Rest in peace, Tony Stark! Like the original Firestarter, it's not a great movie, right? It's not a bad movie, but it definitely falls somewhere in that gray area. And these are certainly the types of films that we should be remaking, ones that are neither the best of the best nor hot garbage to begin with. Now it's 2022, you have all the modern day tools, CGI, special effects at your disposal for high-tech, big boom boom, mucha la magia del fuego. Not to mention Zac Efron's rock-hard babe bod. And you managed to put together a film less interesting than my morning shit. I'm not gonna say this is my least favorite film of the year, but it was definitely my biggest disappointment. I've always loved the Scream series for its twists and turns and ingenuity, and while there's still a lot I love about the latest film in the franchise, it felt like such a retread of old ideas and was painfully predictable. Even my favorite part of the film, the killing of Dewey. Even though David Arquette was the best he has ever been in this role, and Dewey was certainly the best part of the film, was spoiled by the lamest fucking plot hole. See my full review for more on that bullshit. All that said, I am so fucking excited for Scream 6 because coming off of my least favorite in the franchise, yep, even lower than 3, there is no place to go but up. And Ghostface taking Manhattan is just so fucking cool. Now that we've rounded out the shit, we're starting at my least favorite of the good, gonna work our way up to the top. Least favorite makes it sound like I didn't enjoy these films. These are my top 5 favorite horror movies of 2022. Let me be clear. We're just starting at the bottom. I'm gonna work up to my most favoriteest stuff. Fuck you guys! There is nothing I love more than a film that subverts expectations. Hollywood is lame, it is boring, it is predictable as fuck, and any film that can turn that shit on its ass deserves to be recognized. Halloween Ends is far from a perfect film.
fuck, it might not even be a good film.
But God fucking bless it for having the stones to be different. For the life of me, I cannot remember the last time I watched a horror film that was this mean-spirited, sadistic, and downright, well, horrific. The sadness should be required viewing for all of mankind because it illustrates the malicious nature of not only us as a species, but as individuals. Humanity is the absolute worst thing to happen to the planet Earth. The savage, brutal, evil carnage put on display in this film merely scratches the surface of the depravity that we are capable of. Smile was so fucking good, you guys. You know, I didn't pay much mind when the trailer was making its rounds because I thought that they gave the best scare in the movie away. You know, that one at the end with the... But then on the flip side, it started getting this insane amount of praise from critics and fans, and I started to worry it might be a little too highbrow for my liking. Well, then I finally saw the damn thing, and fuck my fuzzy face if I wasn't impressed 3 ways to Sunday. It was smart, it was engaging, and most importantly for me personally, it had the balls to play by elevated horror film rules, but then end with the trashy early 2000s horror movie bait and switch. These days, most horror movies with bleak endings tend to feel sick and twisted. And not in a good way. But Smile manages to paint a perfect picture of trauma that ends in despair and earns that. Because unfortunately for mankind, that is typically how most trauma does indeed end. Terrifier 2. This flick had the highest ranking out of all my reviews for this year, and for good reason. It is without a doubt the best horror film to come out in 2022. Doesn't mean it was my favorite though, but it was fucking close. Nevertheless, this was an astonishing little film that overcame the odds to become the most talked about horror film of the year. Art the Clown has been a favorite of my wife's and I's for years, and this film just solidified his status as a horror icon, not just for our family, but for the whole goddamn stupid fucking piece of shit world. Talk about subverting expectations. When I first saw the trailer for Nope, I thought it looked pretty cool, but kind of seemed like it would end up being a pretty standard alien flick with a little Jordan Peele social commentary sprinkled throughout for good measure. Oh, I really do thoroughly enjoy Get Out and Us and believe that they are each masterclasses in filmmaking. However, I find that I need to be in a certain mood to watch either one of those films. Nope, on the other hand, is a full-blown, non-stop adventure movie that takes a unique approach to the hard-worn alien invasion trope. It's fucking Jaws on a farm! I'm sold, right there. You got me. It's big, it's ambitious, and the Star Lasso sequence was easily the most unexpectedly terrifying movie moment of the year for me, which is why Nope is my favorite horror film of 2022. Honorable mentions go out to Barbarian, X, and Black Phone for being fucking awesome. In case anyone was wondering what my absolute favorite movie of the year was, genre or not, The Batman. So fucking perfect. Well, that about does it for this episode of the Jony Horror Reviews. Hopefully we make it through 2023 without getting nuked. But between now and then, you kids be good to one another, be half-decent human beings. Go fuck yourself.